Hey guys, what's up? You're welcome back to my channel. My name is Austin Becca. If today is your first time on my channel, what's good? If today isn't your first time, thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. Guys, today I just want to express how I feel about beggars. First of all, I need to put this out there. I am so big on giving. Okay, so this is not to say that when I see people in need, I do not help them. But let's talk about beggars who, are always on the road. They have change of clothes. They look like nothing's actually wrong with them, and then they're just on the road. I find it really annoying. If you live in Lagos, you know that in every corner of Lagos there are beggars everywhere, and it's really annoying. Sometimes you're in your car and they're just on your window and, auntie, please give me money to buy water, auntie, please give me money to buy this. And it's okay for you to ask me for money to buy water. Now when I give you money to buy water, and then tomorrow you ask me for money to buy water again, and the next tomorrow you ask me to buy water again, and I'm like, okay, like, what's the point giving you this money? Because I've had situations where you now say, okay, you know what, let's take these kids off the street. So part of what I do is just helping people, right? That's like key to me. And sometimes when you feel like you can help somebody, like rather than just giving them money on the street and everything, I try to do that. And I've realized that they don't actually even appreciate it. Like, they prefer you giving them money on a daily basis. So I don't know, so many of you must have seen all these women who carry their babies on the road, and then, like, even when it's raining and when the sun is like really hot, they are carrying these babies like twins most of the time, and then they're carrying them on the road, running after your vehicle, and asking you to have pity on them and then just give them something. I just realized a few days ago that some of these people actually rent these babies, and I kid you not, like, this is fact. Some of them rent these babies, and I'm like, how did we get to this very deplorable state? Like, what exactly is going on? Because I really don't understand why a mother would give birth to a child, and then the only way she thinks she can survive is by renting out a child. Like, how? Why do people do that? Like, there's some people who have been begging God for just the fruit of the womb, like just once. Like, they're not even asking for twins or anything, just a boy or a girl. People have been begging God, and then they still haven't gotten the gift. But you have the kids, you rent them out, like, even in the rain, in the sun, like, why would you even rent your kids out? These are not materials, like, they're not like, buckets or things that you can just rent out to people who are having parties. Why would you rent your kids out? And then it's even sad that now they have organizations, like a group of beggars register under an organization. Just the way you have the street urchins or the touts or whatever it is you want to call them, but I'll just call them agbero. Just the way they have their union, this is how beggars have also formed a union. It is sad. What happens is people who have kids and cannot fend for their kids come and register. Now you who can actually beg and can sound really convincing in the streets would come and register, and then these unions, the organizers of these unions are like the middlemen. So they take kids from these people, rent it out to people who can actually speak in the streets, and then when these people who speak in the streets make money, for instance, say they make 10,000 naira, they bring the 10,000 naira to the union, then the union splits it into three. Now one part goes to the beggars, the ones in the street, one part goes to the people who actually have the kids, and then one part goes to the union. This is madness. This is not me gainsaying or whatnot. This is a fact. This is something that I have realized. This is something that, it is happening. And I don't know if it's just in this part of the world. So let me know in the comment section if these things happen in your country or in your state or just wherever it is that you are. Because I find it really disgusting. And I think that something needs to be done. Okay? When people give you money, when you beg and people give you money, they're not giving you because they have so much. I, for one, I'm not giving out money to people because I have so much. I'm giving out money to people because I feel like these people might actually need this money. But it breaks my heart every single time I go through that way again. They're still there. Okay, let's not even talk about people who do not have legs or who do not have hands and sit by the roadside. Even though I think that disability is in the mind. I've seen someone who has just like 2 hands, no legs, no limbs, nothing, but she makes shoes. Now, why didn't she choose to, sit and sulk and feel like, oh, people need to give her something? So it has to do with the mind. Now I can even excuse this set of people who think that they should sit in the streets and beg. What happens to people who have both hands and both legs, and then they're asking you for money in the streets? Like, how? The other day I boarded a bus, and then there was this woman with 3 kids, right? So she entered the same bus with me. Like, I actually met her in the bus, and immediately I sat down at the back. She was like, auntie, please, I have just 15 naira, and she needs 15 naira to complete her fare. Now the fare was 100 naira, so I'm like, okay, cool. Now this is me in my head, like not thinking too much about the situation, and I handed 15 naira over to her. But guess what? Someone else entered the same bus. She asked the same person for the same amount of money, still showing the person just 15 naira. And she did that to virtually everybody that got into that bus. And in my head, I'm like, what kind of madness is this? Like, I didn't want to be the first person to start talking about it, because I mean, better you need to shut up sometimes, so I just kept quiet. Before God and man, when we got to the bus stop where she said she was going to get down, she got down, crossed, and then there was traffic, so obviously we had to wait a little bit for the bus to move. This woman got down at her bus stop, crossed over to the other side, took a bus back to where we were just coming from, obviously doing the same thing. So that's like her own means of livelihood. Who does that? Or the set of people who just dress like really corporate, and then they're asking you, Oga, please, I'm just coming from an interview, blah blah blah, I got my wallet stolen, or like I don't have enough money to go back and everything. And out of pity, and just the way they're dressed, you feel like, oh, they're actually telling you the truth, and you hand them some money. When you go back to that same place in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you will still see the same person. Now I'll give you an instance. So they'll tell you, oh, I just came from Ibadan for an interview, or I just came from Ibadan to Lagos, and then the person I came to see is not around, and then the only money with me is like 200 naira, and I need like extra 800 to go back to Ibadan. Please, I'm not a beggar, I just really need your help. And you feel pity, because it could be you could be stranded, and then you're like, okay, you know what, it's fine, enter the bus. They refuse to enter the bus. They'll ask you to give them the money, and then okay, you're like, cool, you hand them 1,000 naira, hoping that they would at least move an inch, but they wouldn't. They'll stand there, someone else will come, they'll tell the person the same story, and it's so annoying. I remember my friends and I used to talk about it at my old job, like where I was working before. We used to talk about it because we used to have like the same experience, but like on different days, but it had to do with the same person. So this woman comes with her son and stands at the bus stop, and then she stands in a very strategic place. She stands in front of the bank, so once you go into the bank to make a withdrawal, or she sees you coming out from the ATM stand, it means that you have money, and then she's like, oh, please help us, we've not eaten morning food. Now you give her in the morning, expecting that, oh, because she's hungry, like she needs breakfast, so you give her in the morning. But the surprising thing is, when we leave work at 5 and we're going home, we don't see her at the bank anymore. We see her at the bus stop doing the same thing with her son. Now my question is, what kind of example is she leaving for her son? Now these are the kids that will grow up thinking that it's normal to just beg, it's normal to like ask people for things, it's normal not to work, and this has to stop. Like, something has to be done about it, because I don't understand why things like this are happening, and it almost feels like nobody is seeing it, nobody is saying anything about it, and it's almost like a norm, like it's acceptable, but it's not. Children are the leaders of tomorrow, but when kids are placed in situations like this, they grow up thinking that that's how life is. They need to beg to survive. What happens to teaching kids that they need to work, that they need to go to school, that they need to learn a trade, that they need to do something for themselves, that they need to fend for themselves, but just not by begging? Alright, bye guys.